Oh, happy day. We got a big box from PrimeWeld. Come back, we'll open it up and see what's in it.
Cut. And action.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. This is the RATTLECAN FAB Shop. I'm James, and today we feel like big boys because we got a box from PrimeWeld. We have taken the step towards independence and ordered ourselves a TIG welder. And I have spec shopped and spec shopped and spec shopped and spec shopped over and over and over and over and over again. And what did I end up getting? I ended up getting the PrimeWeld TIG 225, and we're going to open it up, see what's inside. But first I got to get it down on the floor because I'm not tall enough to pull anything out of this box the way it is. Now, there are a number of reasons why I went with the PrimeWeld. One of the reasons is 3-year warranty. From the reports that I have read, the customer reviews that I have read, the forum posts that I have read, excluding that Pontiac minivan that just went by, when you need their warranty service, it seems to work very well. They also have 7-day-a-week support with, from what I'm reading, local-based tech support. So I don't have to work through a culture gap to try to get someone to understand what my problem is. And I'll tell you, one of the other reasons is that it's gotten really good reviews from the people who I watch on YouTube a lot and I respect, and that's Justin over at Fabrication Series. That's 6061.com. The packaging from the get-go is something else. So here's my stinger with the DINS plug. Here is my ground clamp, which is, it's okay. It's nothing to write home about. DINS plug again. It's just stamped metal. Here is my 120 to 220 adapter. That's going to come in handy because right now I have a four connector 220 outlet in my shop, but it happens to be back in a corner where I'm not going to be doing any welding, so we're going to run it on 110 for a little while till I get that 220 line run. My hose, which seems to be made of a nice rubber material, and these are crimped on. That's nice. This is probably stuff I'm going to throw away or make a Halloween mask out of. That's interesting. Oh, I like that. Very invigorating. You know what we might be able to do? Oh, yeah. What we might end up doing is taking this. This is a number 10 shade. We may end up taking this and fabricable something together so that we can get arc shots. It's glass. Okay. Another box. All right, here's another reason why we decided to go with this welder. This is a CK Worldwide 17 Flex torch. Yay, our first zap. If you're a military guy, you know what I'm talking about. I have a CK torch. I have a CK17 torch. It's not a flex head, but it's not the DINS adapter. So we might have to work on that. And now is our consumables, which is our collets and our cups. And hey, a tungsten. And, oh, a finger switch. So if we want to do 2T, 4T operations instead of using a foot pedal, we can do that. Man, this is like Christmas. Yet another box. And we have, yeah, the pedal that has some detractors. It actually has some real crap talkers about it, but we'll see. I've seen people flip it around and put their foot on it and use it like this. I hear it's fairly touchy. We'll work on that. And an honest to goodness argon flow meter. It's even it says PrimeWeld on there. I can actually see where they have assembled this with Teflon tape. That's all right. That'll go on our nice new argon tank that we went and picked up today. I guess I should organize this stuff and then we'll get to the real fun. All right, before we pull this thing out, I want to show you something that I noticed down in the corner. It has metal corner protectors. On all four corners. That's something. Then the other thing, we'll pull this big sarcophagus off the top of it, and that is not your usual crappy styrofoam. This is really nice. This should protect this very well. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Man, that is a substantial piece of kit, as we would say. All right, let's try to get this out of this piece of foam. Yeah, we're going to have issues with this fitting on the cart as it is. But again, that just gives us a reason to do some fabricating, doesn't it? This will give you an indication of just how big this is. I know there's a how big is it crowd somewhere. Tail of the tape says we're 11 3/4 wide. Looks like 21 to the top. And the case, including the bumpers, is right at 20 inches. Now you do have this big honkin' 220 cord that comes off the back, and you have two fans in the back as well. So make sure, if you're trying to figure out where you can put this, that you take that into account. So there's our 220 plug. Let's take a little closer look at the front of it. Remember that ice cream truck you used to drive around the neighborhood? I wish we had an ice cream truck like that. Because man, I could go for a creamsicle right now. Anyways, distracted, shiny things. Just a very, very brief view of what's on here. This is your overcycle. If you run this thing too hard and it shuts down, it thermally decides it is not going to work anymore. That's the indication. This is your display for your amperages. This is your TIG to mixed metal arc welding, miscellaneous metal arc welding. Call it whatever you want to call it. AC and DC switch. This is your AC frequency and your AC balance. This has got all the cool little stuff if you want to do 2T and 4T operations. You can set your start current. You can set your upslope time, 0 to 10 seconds. This is going to be your main welding current knob. You can set your downslope time. You can set your ending current. You can set your pre-flow and your post-flow. If you're going to do pulse, you can set your base current, what your frequency is, and what your pulse duty is going to be. Then you can either switch between no pulse, high pulse, and low pulse. This is your gas switch connection. This is your negative outlet. This is your positive outlet. Okay, we're going to be running DCE in all the time, or we're going to be running AC. The one thing that I did like about the Miller, what was that, a Synchrowave 250, is that what I was on in school? Is that if you're doing AC and you wanted to round the ball on the end, you could just switch it over to DC electrode positive and just blast out onto a copper plate or an aluminum plate and it would ball up real nice. But if you forgot to change it back to AC, then you got the big black monster on you. So don't do that. And this is going to be either for our foot switch or it's going to be for our TIG torch 2T, 4T control. Let's spin it around and look at the back real quick. Here's the back of her. Fixed cord. I have mixed feelings about that, but then since it's based on a 220 input and then you have an adapter cord like this, so that you can run it on regular 110. I guess we'll let it slide. This is for your argon connection to your bottle. You got two fans. We will see whether they both run all the time, if one runs all the time, if they only run on demand. I don't know. We'll find out. And then we got our on and off, which is an internal breaker. And since it's on the back, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure some of you guys know. You can write the response down in the comment section below the sermon notes. This is an EU thing. You have to run your power switch on the back. There's some kind of EU regulation, is my understanding. That's in a very dark, cobwebby part of the old man brain. So if you know the real answer to that, why don't you go ahead and post that up for us. Yeah, let's spin it around, and now we have to figure out what we can do over there. So here's the deal. The footprint of that welder is 12 by 22. The footprint of my welding cart, which you can see right there, is 10 3/4 by 17, which is not going to work so much. So I'm going to make a two-part platform for it to sit on. One is going to be a spacer that sits down inside the existing tray, and then the second one is just going to be attached to that. It's just a very simple platform, and it's going to be 12 inches wide and probably 26 or 27 inches long. One of the things that I'm going to do is I want to put a stop on the back of it so that it's not going to rest against the tank. It'll actually rest against just a little strip that we'll put on there. And then I have to account for the angle, because as you can see, the top of that cart is at an angle, And as tall as that welder is, it's going to come up to right about here, which could be a problem because, you know, physics. So we have to account for the room for it to push forward so that the top of it can clear that tank. So I got a sheet of 1/2 inch ply. You know what? I actually might I'll make the base out of just some, I think I've got some 3/4 inch MDF sitting around. It just has to be a spacer, is really all it needs to be. And then we'll cut the top, then we'll glue and screw it to the base, attach that strip, and then we'll be done. So I'm just gonna go like this. And there you go, there's your spacer. We've got cutouts for the bolts, and then it overhangs a little bit. And then I have a stop piece in the back that will keep that from sliding and riding up against that tank. Okay, that's not too bad. So there we go. That's not too bad. Yeah, this is that little tank holder that I was telling you about that is on Jay's MIG welder cart. 3/4 inch plywood. It's braced on all 3 of those joints, and his bottle sits in there nice and snug. I'm not excited at all. No bueno. You can see my top chain is here. I'm not even at the halfway point to secure that. All right, well, I guess we'll fire it up. See if we hopefully don't let the smoke out of her. She's a little noisy.
Oh, looky there. Everything's working. Alright. That, yeah, that foot pedal's got issues. So we're definitely going to have to do some other kind of arrangement. I don't know. So anyway, we have made our first mediocre weld. And I do mean mediocre. And hey, we're off to the races. Now we just have to figure out a better way to position stuff. Now we have to figure out lights, and we have to figure out, you know, can we even get a spark shot? You know, I don't know. It's all kind of new material. But anyways, that's the PrimeWeld 225 ACDC pulse welder, running on 110. We'll have to look. We may have been able to see what I was running, what my amps were running. I was maxed at 61, but the foot position, I couldn't get my foot all the way down, and it's not like the rocker, the whole foot rocker switch, like I've been running on millers in school. So that'll kind of take some getting used to. I was running it 15 CFH with about a 5 or a 6 second post flow. Really bad low. Yeah. Alright. What happens when you do stainless without a back purge fixture and you run a little too much heat? Yeah, that's ugly. Yeah, we'll save that one. Tune in next time on how not to weld. No, it's an exciting day to have the TIG welder in the shop. And I start aerospace on Monday for 2 weeks, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'll check in, let you know how that goes. I'm James. This is RATTLECAN FAB SHOP. You guys have a good weekend. Cheers.
I hope you found this episode educational or entertaining, or maybe even both. You might want to check this one out as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified when new videos drop, and if you've got comments, make sure you put them down beneath the sermon notes. Thanks for hanging out with us here at the RATTLECAN FAB Shop. Y'all have a good one. Cheers.